Part 2 of Vertical Mill 101, we're going to be zeroing out our plate. In order to do that, we need to get the middle, or the half the diameter of our drill to this, right on this edge of this corner here. So what I like to do first is I like to touch off right here on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit our power right here. Line that up. I don't have it touching. The trick is to get it to just barely touch off, so I'm moving this to right about now. I can hear a little bit of chattering going on, so I'm going to lift that up, because right now I know I'm touching it. So you can also use a piece of paper. That hasn't been working out so well for me, so I decided to just go with just to get it just barely touching it. If you need to do a piece that you can't have any marks on it, you're obviously not going to want to do that, and that's where that piece of paper comes in handy. So right now what we're going to do is, because we have it touching, we're going to come over here and I'm going to do something called zeroing out. So right now what I want to do is I want to get my backlash out. So I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to move, and I'm going to set this to 0. So right now this is at 0. Okay, I'm tight there. Now, another thing that I know is that that drill is a 5/16 inch drill, and half of that would be 0.156. Another important thing to know is that these dials here, they go in increments of 0.200. So right now, in order to get that drill to be half on that edge, I need to turn this handle 156 because it's 0.156, and one full revolution would be 0.200. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this 156 marks. So we're at 156 right there. So now, right now, if I bring this down, and you could probably zoom in close enough to see this, we should be pretty much right on that edge there, and it looks like we are, so that's great. Next, what we're going to do is I'm going to come right back to this before I forget, and I'm going to zero this out, because now this is my zero on that edge. So I'm going to take out any backlash that I have. Looks good. 0. Lock that in. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do this y-axis here. Okay, I'm going to just kind of eyeball, get it close to where I need it. So now, since I'm at 0, I have a reference point, and to get that back off of the plate so that I can zero in my y, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be turning this so that my table is going to come out in a way so that I can move that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move, I want the table to go out, so I want to go counterclockwise, and I'm going to go 2 turns just because that's been kind of my number I've been using. You're going to want to remember this amount of turns so that you can get that back to our center. So I'm 2 turns here. So now you can see where the drill is. Now I'm going to be able to touch off this right here. So, same strategy as before. I'm going to turn this just until I hear it chattering. Right now I can hear it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zero this right at 0, taking out any backlash that I have. Okay, good. Okay, that's locked down at 0. Same thing as with the table handle. With the cross saddle handle, I need to take out that 0.156 of an inch. So what in this one, the table goes the opposite direction, so I can't simply go to 156. I have to subtract 200 from 156, and then I have to turn until I get to 44, because 200 minus 56 is 44. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this till I get to 44. Okay, and I actually went too far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to our 0, And that's why you set this. I messed up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back past my 0. Okay. I'm right back to my 0, so I should be just barely touching it if I... Yep, we're right back where we were. So, it's okay if you make a mistake, and that's why you zero out so that you know how far you're going. So right now, I took out my backlash, and that's why I keep saying take out your backlash, so that now I'm going to be turning it. I went too far last time, so I'm going to make sure I go only to 44 that time, which I did. So right now, just like with the other one, we should be right on the edge, and it looks good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to re-zero this, because now instead of 0 on the edge of that drill, now we're right on the center of 0 of that drill. So I'm zeroing out right there, 0. You don't want to over tighten them, but you don't want to leave it too loose that it comes off your 0, because then you're not going to have a reference point. Now if you remember, what we got to do here is we got to go back and put our plate back at the 0 of the X, or the table handle. So I want, and here right here, I want to show you on here. On the mill, there's a little chart here. It says table. This CW stands for clockwise. You're going to turn it to the right to make the table go that way, and counterclockwise that way to make the table come this way. I want the table to go that way, this way. So I'm going to turn counterclockwise 2 turns, because that was my magic number that I remember. You'll all have any number you want, but I remember 2 so that I know where my 0 is. So I'm going to go my 2 turns, 1, 2. Now right now, if we go like this, I should be just about right on the edge of that corner, which it looks like we are. So, alright, that's how you zero out. Now, since we have a 0 and 0 reference, what I could do is I'm going to be turning this the direction that I need to move the table. It goes by 0.200. So on this first hole over here, this first hole is 0.625. So I know that's 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, and then I would move it 25 more lines, because that's 0.625. And then on this next hole, on the x-axis, that would be moving our table handle, is 0.750, or 3/4 of an inch. So right now, I'm going to be moving this so that my table comes towards me. So I'm going to move it. Wrong way. 0. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, or 0.6, if you think of it that way. And then we also need to get another 0.025, so that's going to be 10, 25 more. So right now we should be at 0.625. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 0.750. So I'm going to want the table to go that way, so I'm turning clockwise. Here's 2, 400, 600. Now here is hundreds. Now I'm at 700, and I'm just going to go to 150. And now I should be where my hole needs to be. So we're going to come down on this. Okay, let's stop. I came out of the vise a little bit, which is not a very good thing to have happen. You want to make sure that this is secured enough, because right now it could come loose. It's not secure, and that's kind of dangerous. But also, if I noticed that it was coming out of the vise and I just kept on going with it, my hole wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be a very straight hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-secure this, and I'm going to finish my hole. But from this video, hopefully you learned how to zero your corner, and then also come on the coordinate and then get your X and Y hole location. So that concludes the vertical mill for now. See you next time.